Hi everyone, going to show you real quick cutting the tool from the bolt we are creating with this specialty tool. And let me show you what it looks like, see if you can see that better. This is the chevron shape and it's orange and white and it just looks really cool. I hope you can see this up close. Anyway, I'm going to show you real quick just a simple cutting. You guys have seen it before, or if you've watched some of our cutting videos. You're going to take your bolt, and I need 24 inches because it's going to be 12 inches in length folded over. And then this is for a 10-month-old, I'm sorry, almost 11-month-old, and we're going to cut it at an angle. And once we do that, it'll be a little bit shorter than that. So it'll end up being between 10 and 11 inches. Okay. Have my glue gun on and just knocked it over. This tool is not flocked, the specialty tool. Now right now what I'm cutting is the shimmering orange, and I love it. It's just really stunning. Now remember, when you're cutting it from a bolt, you want to make sure that one side is folded, and that's how you're cutting it. Now let me explain in more detail. This side is folded over, okay? This is the end parts where it's not folded. And if you don't cut like that, you're not cutting the grain properly. What happens is it becomes very stretchy and then unusable in most cases. And I'd say every time I've done that, I haven't been able to use it, not for making a tutu, because it stretches so much like pantyhose when they've been worn out. Alright, so I've got it on my folded side, and then what I like to do, especially when I'm making a tutu and it's really long, first I fold it in half, and then if I want to, I fold it again, bringing the folded side close together, as closely as possible. Okay, and I fold it one more time, and then I've got this folded side where it matches up really closely. And you can use your fabric scissors, or you can use a rotary cutter. Now remember, it's folded over, so you want to cut it half of the width that you want your other pieces, because once it's unfolded, excuse me, this is how big it is. See? So if you cut it the same size as your others, you're going to have a really huge piece of tool. Okay. Now what I like to do is I like to put something to hold it down while I'm using my rotary cutter. There we go. And this is what happens. It kind of bunches up a little bit when you don't use something to hold the side down. Besides, bunching up can also make your cut zigzag and unattractive. And then show you real quick with the scissors. And I'm going to cut here. Now the side that did not have the fold over is a little bit off center, but it's wide enough to still use, so I'm not worried about that. If you have it where it's a wide piece and then you have a whole bunch extra, you can trim it, but this can be used just as is. Alright, and then let me show you the pixie cut. I'm going to put several pieces together. Hopefully you can see it. The lighter colored tool, which I thought this was pretty bright, has a tendency not to show up very well. And that's it. Just cut towards the side. If you don't have a rotary cutter, you can do this with scissors as well. Now, one thing that I noticed here is I missed the edging on that. You can use your scissors for that. Now, nice and sharp. The rotary cutter allows you to cut several pieces pretty quickly and nice and sharp as well. Alright, so I'm going to cut the rest of this. I'll show you real quick with the specialty tool. And I cannot find this in a bulk, letting y'all know, and it is a little bit more expensive. You're going to pay probably $6.99 to $8.99 retail for this one roll. So we're going to utilize our saving money technique when we use this. I've got it. I'm just cutting it. There we go. Nice sharp cut. Now I'm going to cut it, since this is going through a crocheted hole, I am going to cut it at 3 inches in width instead of it being a 6 by 12. I've got an unhappy baby. Okay, so let's see. See? So I'm going to finish cutting and then we'll get to placing. Now that we've finished cutting all of our tool, the specialty and our shimmering premium tool, we're going to do placement. Now real quick, don't start at the very bottom, that thin thread, and don't end at the very top with that thin thread because you can damage your crocheted band or crocheted top. Take your tool piece, fold it in half, bring the tails together as closely as possible. You'll ignore that if you're doing the staggered effect. Now that basically means you have one tail longer than the other, and it kind of gives a layered effect. But for our purposes today, we're going to bring the tails as closely together as possible. We're going to squish that top part that's folded. We're going to bring it and run it through our crocheted hole, widen it with our fingers. Now take the tails and run it through the hole you've created with your fingers and gently tug down. And there's your slip knot. We're going to continue throughout the process doing this for our crocheted tutu dress. Again, we're going to take our tool piece, fold it in half, bring the tails together as closely as possible, squish that top part, bring it through the crocheted hole, widen it with your fingers, bring the tails up through the area that you've widened. Now gently tug down. And again, your slip knot method. Now we're going to use the specialty tool on the top layer or top 2 layers, and this will be cost effective and it'll still look stunning. I'll speed through the rest of this so that you can see but not get too bored. Alright, I just wanted to show you this process again. It's really simple. One thing that's great about specialty tool is that if it's a good quality, you don't need to accent it with anything else. We've got the bottom layers to cut down cost of the shimmering orange, and then I may do 2 rolls, I'm sorry, not 2 rolls, 2 layers of this beautiful chevron shape. I haven't decided. Once we finish, we'll decide that, but it doesn't need much more embellishment at all. I might put some straps and that's about it. Okay. Do you like it? Yeah? Do you like it? What you got in your mouth? You can find anything, I swear. We've got this really cool chevron ribbon. Only problem is any of the satin kind I found are all wired. So we're going to create something like this. And since it has a wire, you know where you cut, usually a little piece of the wire shows. Well, I added some clear hot glue to keep it from poking anybody. So that's what we're going to make. You can avoid this and you can just use your tool to make some bows instead. Totally up to you. But I wanted to show you this because I bought it specifically for this. I got a fussy baby. Alright, so pick how much you want. I am not the world's greatest bow maker. There's a lot of great crafters out there that can make them a lot better than I can. But this will give you an idea. Make sure you're using your craft scissors and not your fabric scissors because this is wire. Okay? Alright, so all I'm doing here is I'm taking it, I'm going to use a zip tie to actually create it, how you just saw. So take your length, fold it in half, and this is your guide to see where you want your bow to be. Okay. And then fold it over. Put it together. Make sure that this is about the size you want. Okay, now here's the key part. I love wired because it makes a really cool bow when you put it all together. I'm taking my zip tie and I'm pinching this middle part. I'm kind of just folding it together. And you're going to use your zip tie. You're going to get it and you're going to put it in this little slot that it has made for you. And I got these at Amazon. You can get them at a craft store, but so far Amazon's been cheaper. Okay, now here's the number one thing. I've run it through so that way it completes the circle, but I have not tightened it. Let me show you why. Now I'm going to take it and see, is this where I want it? Is this how I want it? Now I'm going to tighten a little bit more, and I'm going to take my tail and kind of twist it. Okay, I still have not completely tightened the zip tie. Let's see. Now do I want it a little bigger? Yeah. And then you just poof it out. When you have it the size you want, then you completely tighten it. We're not quite done yet, because what we're going to do now is we're going to do the bottoms. Taking my craft scissors, and I think I am going to just have diamond edges or triangle edges. There we go. Now you can try to heat seal it a little bit. You just got to be really quick. My air conditioning just turned on, so it keeps turning off my flame here. Anyway, you just want to heat seal the edges, but you gotta be quick because you don't want to melt it or make it look totally different than what you originally planned. Okay, now we're not quite finished, just about. Alright, this is actually pretty good. It's not... I felt one. Take your glue gun, okay? And just run a little line of glue. You see that? You can barely see it. Nobody should be that close to you to inspect. But this makes sure that that little metal piece of wiring does not touch your tool, or if you're wearing it as a hair thing, it doesn't scrape you or your head. Let that dry real quick before you set it down, but you're just putting a very small amount. Now I'm taking just a little piece I'm going to cut this off. Now I'm going to use this I'm going to put a bit of glue on that zip tie. And the reason why I do that is it makes it easier when I'm trying to maneuver this. Okay, now put a little bit of glue again. Those of you that know how to make bows like pros, you can skip a little ways and you can you go. Oops. I'm going to use this so it's detachable. I'm going to take a felt circle, and I have an orange one, so I'm going to use an orange felt circle. I'm going to open this part up right here. Okay. I'll put my felt circle in it. I'm going to put a generous portion of hot glue. I'm going to press firmly. Okay. After that's dry, you can attach it. Now I love how it turned out. I'm going to go ahead and add a small fabric rose, and it's white. So I'm just going to put some glue on it, and then I'm going to put it right in the center. I'll show it to you and let you see what it looks like on. Alright, now we need to do the sleeves. I'm taking my tool that I had left over. Don't worry about what it looks like right now. I'm taking my tool. I'm tying a knot. And you can do ribbon in place of this. I just thought, let's do something a little different. Now, you can cut this down, or you can do this. Have it run through, sort of like poof sleeves. And then here's the other way. And then you could make a cute bow. Okay. Like I said again, your bows will be a lot better than mine. Okay. And what you would do in this instance is you would trim it up some, and you would put an embellishment at each spot. Now, cool thing about this is all we did was we brought both pieces together, put it through a crocheted hole, and then we created a bow. Now this bow, since it doesn't have any hot glue on it, it can be left undone, and then you can just have the two flowing pieces on each side, or you can create the bow effect, you know, depending on what you're feeling like that day. Really easy to do. And really cute. Okay, now I told you not to worry about this nonsense, right? Okay, first off, you're going to want to leave a piece of it. You don't want to cut it where you knock it off. You pull it off. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cover that up. Now what I have are two bows already created. So we're going to put that on each side. If you don't have pre-made bows, that's quite all right. You can make you can use some satin ribbon and create a bow yourself, or you can make some smaller bows. Let's get you a felt piece or some leftover ribbon. Put a good portion of glue. place it there, let it dry a little bit. Put a good dab of glue on the area where the felt circle is and place. Press firmly. Okay. Now if you see you have too much excess glue, take the tip of your glue gun and run it so you can grab that extra glue. Now if you've got the craft glue gun that has the tips with the flat, that works really good when you're trying to take excess glue off. And that's what you got. Okay. And again, this comes undone really easily, and you can just leave each piece flowing. If you need it to be longer for the person, you know, if their shoulders aren't this width, they need them to be a little bit looser, just undo it and they'll have more. Alright, and there it is with the bow on the back, and you can place it higher, lower, whatever, because you've put it with a pin on it, so it's totally up to you. We've got a matching hair accessory. You can leave it on or off, and you can make a hair accessory with this too. So I will show you a full view and our pics with our little model in it. And thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. We know that you have many channels and options to choose from, and you have continued to show your support to our Family First business by watching our videos. Y'all have a fantastic, fabulous day. Remember, anything that you create is going to be fantastic. Why? Because you took the time to create it. From my family to yours, have a blessed day. No time for DIY? Be sure to visit our sites. We always run specials. Tutu Couture and tutucute.com. Be sure to check out our Chevron blooper reel and our slideshow with Kit Kat. On this journey, what are we saying? Making excuses, no. Tell all the people we know we're getting ready to go. It's time. Life is passing by. Any, mini, money, mo. Pick a place and there we'll go. Work this jungle.